So, case two on the European Union finding Google on the three antitrust violations that they had. So, Google is one of the most technological advancements in the history of humankind. There's no understatement. Google was the go to search engine for everyone in the world. All of the information you had to go looking for in history, in the books, is at the request of your fingertips. Google has since evolved and has stretched its roots into numerous things that they partner with. They partner with YouTube, Facebook, and Dropbox, some of the most trafficked sites that we have today. Those are just three of the many partners Google has. Google has a total of 3,964 partners that have helped them diversify into many different industries on top of controlling the search engine market share. The top search engines in the world from first to last are Google, Bing, Baidu, and Yahoo. Although those search engines more or less do the same thing, Google was the one to come out first. In turn, people are more inclined to search for things via Google. This in turn makes Google the majority market shareholder, coming in at 91.88%. Google controls 91.88% of the market. The competition is not even close. Like anything in this world, Google was being no exception. Nobody ever wants to be complacent. There is always more money to be made and more industries that can be bullied or bought out. When a company gets too powerful and has the control of the whole market, it can turn into a monopoly. Now, you might be wondering why a monopoly is bad. You may think to yourself, they took over the market share fair and square because their product is better. While this is 100% true, it's dangerous because if only one company is the sole controller of the desired product that you want, who's to say they won't price gouge you, meaning make you pay whatever amount they want to for the desired product? This is why antitrust laws were established in order to keep competition alive so that prices can stay somewhat controlled. Now, in this day and age of the internet, it's hard to know what a violation of the antitrust law is because Google is not providing you a product, but a service. That service is the ability to search for information. Google could make you click on an article just because they recommended it to you as the first link. So if there's no competition at all, how do you know they won't push their agenda? This is why Google has been on the tail end of multiple lawsuits for many years. Many people, especially in the EU, European Union, feel they are getting too big. On March 20th, 2019, the EU imposed another fine on Google, the most recent of the three fines it has imposed on them for antitrust violations since 2010. The union the European Union fined Google because they decided Google imposed unlawful restrictions on manufacturers of Android mobile phones. They deduced that Google wanted Android to make Google the primary search engine. According to the article, EU court confirms a record 4 billion antitrust fine by DW.com. Google was able to do this by pressuring manufacturers on the Androids to pre-install their operating system and apps on the phone simultaneously while preventing mobile phone manufacturers from selling versions of the Android that aren't approved by Google. This ruling came with a $4.8 billion fine. Google then tried to challenge the European Commission ruling by saying it was unbelievable and inappropriate. I personally agree with the ruling that the EU imposed on Google. Google is one of the richest companies in the world, and they have their fingers in every industry you can think of. They proceeded to strong arm the companies into using their interface instead of the company coming to the decision themselves or compensating the company for using their operating system. Google was getting out of hand. They needed to be checked to ensure that there will always be a free market. Google has gotten into trouble with the EU before. They were fined $1.7 billion for their search ad blocks. According to the article, Google fined $1.7 billion for search ad blocks. The decision was made because they say the company was practicing illegal strategies when it came to pushing ads. According to the article, Google abused its dominance in the market by suppressing websites using brokers other than their AdSense platform. This is upsetting because this means that the product will make more money off of Google pushing the advertisements they want instead of the ones that would get pushed organically. Google is wrong for this because their advertisements aren't cheap. They are charging these companies and paying prices for advertisements, sometimes higher than others, because they are under the impression that it will garner more traffic. Instead of the site they were paying is pushing the links that they want to get traffic, and that's unfair. Google should be giving those companies that were affected their money back. They stopped publishers from placing any search adverts from competitors on the search results page. Google was also fined $2.6 billion because, according to the article, Google fights the EU fine overturned by Hardy Gropner. The EU determined that Google had been favoring their own price comparison shopping service, giving bad deals to smaller European competitors in the same field. In layman's terms, they were accused of only showing their products at the top of their page, while the other products, they were accused of only showing their products at the top of the page, while the other products making it quick accessible for people to see. I can personally see why the EU would want to fine Google for doing this, because it's a win-win either way. They're going to get paid, whether it's through a fine or having their country's products at the top of the page. I don't see the problem with this personally. I feel like Google is within their right to put their products and services at the top of their page. But in the article, it also states that companies see it as an abuse of their platform, because some companies rely so heavily on Google to make money. I can see why this argument has validity, because Google pushing their products to the top of the page can be the difference between a consumer choosing Google's product over the lesser known company's product.